Good morning. We will get started in just a moment. Thank you all for joining. As a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are providing testimony before the board. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the city of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman of the Board, Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Joyce, Chair of the Boston Licensing Board. Today I'm also joined by Commissioner Kiana Saxon and Commissioner Liam Curran.
Thank you very much. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly if you will be testifying before the board this morning. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the licensee, who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department, and whether there are any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify. I will then swear in all parties. After that, the police report will be read into the record, and the licensee or their representative will have the opportunity to make a brief statement, followed by questions by the chair and commissioners. All testimony will be limited to those individuals with firsthand personal knowledge of the alleged incident. We'll begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 175 Ipswich Street LLC, located at 175 Ipswich Street. Date of the incident, October 1st, 2025. Assault and battery, patrons on police in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 265, Section 13D. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Attorney Green. Excuse me, Dennis Quilty, attorney at McDermott, Quilty, Miller, and Hanley, representing the licensee this morning. With me is Martina Rosenbaum, who's the venue manager, Scott Hentosh, who's the security manager, Joseph Dunn, and Declan Megan, who are Live Nation management operators at the facility as well. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. I believe I see all of the above. I don't see Mr. Mehigan. I do see everybody else that you mentioned.
I see his name.
Oh, yep, I do see him now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
I am present on, excuse me, I'm President, myself, Officer John McDonough, on behalf of the Boston Police Department.
Great. Thank you, Officer McDonough. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning?
Sergeant William Gallagher. I wrote the LPV with the Detective Hernandez.
Thank you. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the, yeah, thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you, Officer McDonough. If you could please read the report into the record for the board.
Okay. The report at about 9:50 p.m. on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, myself, Officer McDonough, while working detail at 2 Lansdowne Street, MGM Music Hall, assisted security with a removal that resulted in the arrest of 2 people. Lieutenant Pusey, Officer Doolin, Officer Polanco were also on scene, and multiple other units from Districts 4 and 14 responded to assist. Security at MGM Music Hall approached officers and requested assistance in removing an individual, Edwin Rivera, from the premises. Officers began to escort Rivera outside, and he became extremely agitated and argumentative with officers, demanding an explanation for why he was being removed from the venue and stating multiple times to officers, "Come on outside," as if to threaten or challenge officers to a fight. Once officers got to the exit door on the Lansdowne Street side of the building, Rivera proceeded to throw his beverage at Officer Doolin and threw a punch at him. Rivera then grabbed a hold of Officer Doolin's uniform jacket and began to physically assault him, dragging Officer Doolin outside onto the sidewalk, which was crowded with heavy pedestrian traffic, and near the street that had heavy vehicle traffic. At some point in this altercation, Officer Doolin felt Rivera's hand grab onto his department-issued firearm, which was holstered on his duty belt, while also causing his personal handheld radio to fall off of his belt and onto the ground. Officer Doolin at this time had to use both of his hands to prevent Rivera from causing him further bodily harm, as well as keep him from gaining control of his department-issued equipment. Rivera's violent behavior towards officers dragged them both to the ground, where they continued to issue Rivera verbal commands to put his hands behind his back so he could be placed into handcuffs, which he ignored, tensing his body and not willingly giving his hands to officers. Officers were eventually able to gain control of Rivera's hands and place him into handcuffs. At the same time Rivera was being removed, his cousin, Stephen Costa, began to argue with officers, stating multiple times, "How are you going to do my cousin like that?" Officer Polanco fell to the ground in the altercation between Officer Doolin and Rivera. While Officer Polanco was still on the ground, Costa threw a punch at him, but did not make physical contact with him. Once on his feet, Officer Polanco informed Costa that he was under arrest for assault on a police officer. At this time, Officers Doolin and Polanco had both of their hands occupied trying to place the suspects into custody and control their violent behavior. Because of this, they were unable to radio for additional officers to assist. Eventually, Officer Doolin regained control of his radio, notified operations that they had officers in trouble, and requested additional units on scene to assist. Officer Doolin then presented his department-issued taser and gave Costa multiple verbal commands to put his hands behind his back. At this time, Officer Doolin issued the taser's audible warning signal in an attempt to get voluntary compliance and de-escalate the situation. Costa ignored the officer's taser warning and verbal commands, which prompted Officer Doolin to discharge his taser 2 times, which did not result in neuromuscular incapacitation. Officer Doolin then discharged his taser 2 more times, which subdued Costa to the point where officers were able to place him into handcuffs. For the duration of this incident, MGM Music Hall and Lansdowne Street was extremely congested with pedestrian and vehicle traffic. The suspect's sustained violent and aggressive behavior greatly disrupted normal traffic flow. Due to the suspect's disorderly behavior, Lansdowne Street was unpassable for cars. It should also be noted that pedestrians were not able to use the sidewalk where the suspects were located because of their violent actions towards officers. Both suspects were placed under arrest and transported to Nashua Street Jail for booking. Stephen Costa was booked in the usual manner. Edwin Costa continued to be combative with officers upon arrival at Nashua Street and refused to participate in the booking process. And at the time of this report being written, he had not been booked. Boston EMS arrived and transported Officer Doolin to Tufts Medical Center for treatment of injuries sustained in the incident. These injuries were documented in a separate report. EMS also evaluated both suspects on scene and determined they did not require hospital treatment. Both the suspects will be charged out of Roxbury District Court. Do you want me to list the charges?
No, that's okay.
That's all right. Thank you for that. Sergeant Detective Gallagher?
Yes, the Sergeant Detective Gallagher here. The second report is ours on Saturday, October 4th, 2025. Sergeant Detective William Gallagher. Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to licensed premise unit, responded to MGM Music Hall, Fenway. Detectives were there to speak to staff regarding a prior assault and battery patrons on police officers. ×2 report. The incident had occurred on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Detectives spoke to the person in charge, Ms. Martina Rosenbaum, who confirmed that she was aware of the incident and had been working that evening. Ms. Rosenbaum was informed by detectives to preserve any surveillance video of the incident. As a result, Sergeant Gallagher issued a licensed premise inspection notice 020625. Assault and battery patrons on police officers ×2. Mrs. Rosenbaum signed for and accepted the notice. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Attorney Quilty, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Thank you. If I may, first, Sergeant Detective Gallagher, did the manager and the staff cooperate with you when you arrived on the scene?
Yes, sir, they did.
And that you informed them to preserve video, or they suggested that they had done so?
They did.
Okay, thank you. And Officer McDonough, similarly, were you first notified by staff that there was an issue and they asked you for help?
I personally was not verbally made aware by staff of the incident when it first occurred. I was on the other side of the music hall when I was on the Ipswich Street side when the incident first happened, and I was made aware of it by security. I heard Officer Doolin's radio transmissions, and that's when I went around the side of the music hall and helped the officers involved in the incident.
Excellent. But in regard to your report, you suggested that staff did notify the BPD
Yes, staff
details.
notified Officer Doolin and Officer Polanco that these patrons, they needed help removing these two patrons.
Okay. And to your knowledge, other than that request by staff for help, was there anything else that occurred earlier that would have led to any awareness of these two individuals, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. And to your knowledge, I have some indications that Mr. Hentoff, who's the security manager, assisted the police during this and suggested in his report that he restrained one of the subject's legs when they were all flailing around on the floor. Are you aware of that?
Aware this is a security officer at MGM.
Yeah. One of the staff people. Correct. Yep.
To my knowledge, it was a very chaotic situation. I don't recall that personally. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I don't recall it.
But to your general knowledge, were the staff cooperative with you, and did they stay out of your way and allow you to do your work that night?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. If I may ask Mr. Hentosh, if that's appropriate. Mr. Hentosh, you've been sworn. Would you please state your name and your position at the licensee for the board? Scott?
He's on mute.
Is he there?
Mr. Hentosh, I've asked you to unmute. Something should have. There we
Sorry
go.
about that. Scott Hentosh, Senior Security Manager at the MGM Music Hall.
And would you perhaps start, Mr. Hentosh, by explaining to the board your background in security?
Retired 25 and a half years with the Sheriff's Department, retired as an assistant superintendent. I've been in this industry off and on for 30 years.
And on the night in question, can you tell the board how many staff members you had on duty and how many, Boston police officers were on duty on the night in question?
We had 4 Boston PD detail officers on site. We had 42 staff, which includes 5 supervisors.
And other than these individuals at closing time, if you will, was there any indication of any issue with these 2 individuals or anyone else for that matter on the night in question?
No, negative.
Okay. And to your knowledge, this occurred at the end of a show when people were trying to leave the facility?
Not quite the end, but pretty close to the end. Yes, about 10 o'clock, quarter to 10.
Okay. And to your knowledge, what was it that drew attention of staff to the 2 individuals?
I actually had witnessed the 2 individuals having a conversation with another individual. It seemed to become volatile and hostile, which is when BPD entered the scene.
And was it you or one of your staff members who went to get the detail officers to help out?
I'm pretty sure Martina had seen the involvement, and she was right next to the detail, was able to summons them.
And that's Martina Rosenbaum, who's the venue manager.
Correct.
Okay. And your written report indicates that you assisted as best you could. Can you tell the board what you did when this scuffle occurred?
Yeah, when it took place outside on the sidewalk, again, as stated, it was a pretty chaotic scene. I was able to grab one of the subject's legs and help restrain him until the situation became safe.
And what were the rest of your security staff doing at this time?
I believe we only had 1 or 2 remaining on the sidewalk. Everybody else was told to stay inside.
Okay. So at this point, you had notified the police, and this became a police matter, and you assisted as best you could. Is that about what happened?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And can you tell the board, with regard to security at the venue, in particular on this night, what was done pre-show that you conducted with the Boston Police Department for security purposes?
As is protocol for every show, we advance every show weeks ahead of time, reaching out to prior venues that the artist has played at, which we had done on this night. We also had a BPD K9 explosives team sweep the building prior to doors opening. Many other steps along those lines before the show started.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you. The board may have some questions for you, and I just would like to question Ms. Rosenbaum momentarily. If you let me do that first, that would be, thank you. Ms. Rosenbaum, can you identify yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Martina Rosenbaum. I'm the Senior Operations Manager at MGM Music Hall.
And were you present on the night in question?
I was.
And are you the individual who went to the to the detail officers requesting assistance?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you see that led up to that, and what did you then do with regard to the detail officers?
Sure. Yeah. I had seen the individuals having, like Scott mentioned, a heated conversation. They were actually near the merch line, kind of right by the exit door. We had already talked to them once, told them to, to cut it out and enjoy the rest of their night. Within a few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes, they got back into it, and it was even more hostile than the first time. And when staff, including Scott, they tried to talk to them, ask them to leave, and they refused to leave. They started putting their hands on staff, and that's when I grabbed. I think it was specifically Officer Doolin that I was standing next to that I asked to assist because the patrons were getting physical.
And you obviously knew there were detail officers present. Did you know how many of them there were?
Yes, we know they always kind of hang out in our lobby, so we always take stock of how many there are before we get started.
Okay. And your first reaction once you saw this get more violent was to go directly to the officer and request assistance.
Correct.
And the officer complied, I presume.
Yes.
Okay. And then did you make any further observations? Did you remain in the lobby at that point?
Once, at first, yes, I tried to kind of get staff out of the way, as Scott mentioned. And then once it went outside, I went around to the outside to help clear the sidewalk.
Okay. And you were you there when Sergeant Detective Gallagher came back a couple of days later? Did you
Yes.
interface with him? And did you suggest that did you have the video, any video that was available? Did you preserve it?
Yes, we had started preserving video that night on the 1st.
Okay. And was that video turned over to the Boston Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. And Madam Chair, I do not know whether the board is in receipt of that, but we will provide that to you.
We have not received any video on this incident.
Okay. We will provide that immediately after this hearing. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ms. Rosenbaum, Ms. Trantosh. Thank you very much. The board may have some questions for you, so stand by, please.
Thank you. We'll see if the board does have any questions. Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you. I will wait to receive the video. Do we have a copy of your dispersal plan on file? We'll take a look. If we don't, we'll reach out and ask you guys to submit that so we can review it.
Will do.
But I have no questions. Thank you.
I have no questions.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. When the video is received, I will share it with the commissioners, and with that, the board will take this matter under advisement for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 2, which concerns the same licensee, 175 Ipswich Street LLC, located at 175 Ipswich Street. Date of this incident, October 6th, 2025. Assault and battery, patron on staff in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 265, Section 13A. Attorney Quilty, will it be the same list of witnesses?
Yes, Attorney Green. I do not, just as a matter of explanation, the person, the so-called staff member is actually a staff member of a private alcohol compliance agency and not an employee of the licensee. So I do not know whether they are here, but otherwise it would be the same persons who I asked to be identified in the first case.
Great. Thank you for that. I will ask in a moment if anybody else is present. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Detective Jared Taylor.
Thank you, Detective. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify? Great. Detective Taylor, could you please raise your right hand, seeing as all the other witnesses have been sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. If you could please read the report into the record for the board.
Certainly. At about 7:30 p.m. on Monday, October 6, 2025, the person reporting, Kelly J. Sullivan, walked in E5 to report an assault and battery which occurred while victim was working at MGM Theater located at 2 Lansdowne Street, Boston. Sullivan stated on October 1st, 2025, while at work for the alcohol compliance, Ms. Sullivan was asked to check on 2 females, aged 17 to 20, white, brown hair, small, 5'2", in the bathroom. When she entered, Sullivan went over to the stall where the suspects were and knocked 3 times. On her third knock, the females came out and Sullivan asked them to leave the facilities. The unknown suspects responded by punching Miss Sullivan in the head multiple times, threw their drinks at her, and then spit in her face.
Thank you. We have a supplemental report as well. Do you have that?
I have a supplement in which I issued a license premise notice.
Yep.
About 6 p.m. on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, Detective Taylor and Detective Texera responded to MGM Fenway, 2 Lansdowne Street, for a license premise violation. Met with the manager on scene, Rosenbaum, Martina, who was cooperative. License premise violation issued. Citation number 016980. This is in regard to I number 252084501. A and B, patron on staff.
Thank you very much. Attorney Quilty, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Very briefly, Detective, this was what you would consider a walk-in to a police station after reporting an incident that had allegedly happened prior.
Yes, exactly. E5 is the West Roxbury Police Station.
Got it. Thank you, sir. So this was a walk-in approximately 5 days later, and in fact, occurred on the very same night as the previous number 1 on today's agenda. So the actual occurrence was October 1.
Yes.
The walk-in was October 5, and your follow-up was October 7. So you don't have any personal knowledge of the incident. You just reported what this young woman told you or told somebody at E5, and then you followed up.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir. And again, I just want to make it clear to the board, this was an employee of a private contractor, not an employee of the licensee. We have had no dealings with this person, did not know that the person was assaulted because it wasn't reported to anybody. Did not know anything until the police came and said that she walked in to the police station to make this report. As you can imagine, with the other matter taking place, it was a little confusing that night. But again, we had no knowledge of this incident. We had no knowledge of what happened. She went on her own to the police and reported it. And we really have nothing we can offer, although Ms. Rosenbaum, who previously testified, did speak to the detective and gave whatever information she was able to give on the day when he arrived. And other than that, we really don't have any knowledge of it.
Thank you. If there's nothing further, then we'll see if there are any questions from the board at this time. Chairman Joyce.
Yes, so let me just make sure I'm following this. So who asked Ms. Sullivan to go into the bathroom and check on the 2 employees? I mean, the 2 patrons.
It appears as though she's employed by the alcohol compliance. There must have been a question about alcohol use, or we don't know. I mean, that appeared, that's who her directive, supervisors would have been.
So how do they work? How does this alcohol compliance group work with the staff at MGM? Like, who's in charge?
I mean, perhaps it's best for Scott to answer this question. Is you still with us, Scott?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, they would have been notified by our supervisors. They're strictly alcohol compliance. So they would have been alerted by our staff that there was some kind of issue in the female.
Okay, so that's what is confusing to me. Your staff alerted this woman to go check on 2 people in the bathroom. Did your staff follow up with this woman and say, "Oh, geez, you got punched in the face," or what happened?
There was no report of any kind of assault on our end.
Do you have any notes from this night? Staff, end of the night, end of the shift, like, oh, there was 2 people who went in the bathroom and we directed Miss Sullivan to go in.
Yeah, again, this was I think minutes. This was like 4 or 5 minutes after the first incident. So it was a pretty chaotic night. I do not have any specific notes on that specific incident in the female restroom.
So you do a video from that night, which you said that previously you're going to submit to us after the
Correct.
hearing from the
But-
previous incident. Do you
Of
have
course, there
video?
would be no video inside the bathroom. That's
I understand, but do you have video of maybe outside the bathroom, a woman coming out after two people allegedly punched her, or these two people roughly around this time coming in and out of the bathroom?
I do not have any video of the employee or the victim at
Did you
all.
look after this police report?
Yeah, we've scoured hours of video on that.
And no,
Nothing that would have drawn our attention to any kind of incident or assault.
okay.
we'll provide everything we have, though. And I mean, whatever we have of that area, and everything we have, we'll provide.
Okay, that'd be great. With that, I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
There are no questions, and the board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 3, Mile 22 Inc., doing business as Cityside in the Circle, located at 1958 to 1960 Beacon Street in Brighton. Date of the incident, September 14th, 2025. Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, a gun, patron on employee, in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 265, Section 15A. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Seth Delury, Operations Manager.
Thank you. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Officer Hugh Healy.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify? Can you both please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Officer Healy, if you could please read the report into the record for the board.
About 12 a.m. on Sunday, 9/14/25, officers Healy and Walton in the Kilo 202 Alpha responded to a radio call for a person with a gun at 1960 Beacon Street, Brighton, Cityside Restaurant and Bar. Officers Grayhand, DeCecco, Kilo 102 Alpha, Morgan Ace, Kilo 104 Alpha, Sullivan, Kilo 412 Alpha, Barry, Kilo 426 Alpha, Joseph, Kilo 498 Alpha, Hicks, Roberto, Tango Gold 1, and Sergeant Wilson, the Kilo 913, also responded. Channel 5 dispatch informed officers that a male suspect had pulled a firearm on the caller. The suspect was described as a Hispanic male, approximately 5'8" tall, with a heavy build. The suspect was reported to be wearing a black t-shirt with a cross on it, blue jeans, and had a firearm in his waistband. Officers Healy and Walton arrived at 1960 Beacon Street. As other officers canvassed the area for the suspects, officers were able to obtain an updated description, direction of travel for the suspect. The suspect was last seen taking a right-hand turn onto Chestnut Hill Avenue from Commonwealth Avenue. Officers were able to obtain photographs of the suspect. The photograph was provided to other officers via department email. In the photo, the suspect appears to be a Hispanic male, heavy build with a bald head and black facial hair. The suspect can be seen wearing a black t-shirt with the white West Coast Chopper logo on the front/back, light colored pants, and black sneakers with the Nike logo. The above information was relayed to other officers canvassing the area for the suspect. Officer Healy spoke with an employee of Cityside Restaurant and Bar, Kyle Fontaine. Fontaine reported that the suspect, later located and identified as Andrew Kane, had pulled out a firearm and pointed it at the victim, Christian Chacon. According to Fontaine, the suspect, Kane, had attempted to leave the bar without paying his tab. Fontaine stated that he spoke to the suspect about paying his tab, and the suspect disagreed, stating that he had paid his tab earlier. Fontaine stated that an argument ensued, with the suspect eventually being requested to leave the establishment. Fontaine stated that as the suspect was leaving, an altercation occurred outside, and the suspect removed a firearm from his waistband and pointed it at the victim, Chacon. Fontaine stated that the suspect made threats while pointing the firearm at the victim. Fontaine reported that the suspect departed the scene on foot, walking down Commonwealth Avenue, taking a right-hand turn onto Chestnut Hill Avenue. Fontaine showed officers video footage of the incident. In the video, officers observed the suspect push the entry-exit door, striking the victim, Chacon. The victim then pushes the suspect back. The suspect then removed a tan firearm from the right side of his waistband and points it directly at the victim. Officers Grayhan and DeCicco observed the suspect, who matched the description of the photo obtained from the surveillance footage exactly, walking in an alleyway on Braymore Road. Officers observed the suspect walk onto Strathmore Road and then begin walking towards Commonwealth Avenue. Officers observed the suspect to be talking on his cell phone. Officers did not observe any other people walking in the area. Officers Grayhan and DeCicco requested to speak with the suspect, to which he began walking at a faster pace, stating that he did not have anything to do and that officers had no reason to stop him. Officers Grayhan and DeCicco were able to stop the suspect on the sidewalk in front of 1800 Commonwealth Ave and conduct a threshold inquiry. The suspect was placed in handcuffs for officer safety based off reports that a firearm had been used in an assault. Based off the suspect matching the description provided by the witness and video footage, as well as reports and video footage that he was armed with a firearm, officers conducted a pat frisk of the suspect for weapons. Officers located a tan Sig Sauer M18, the serial number, in a holster in the suspect's front right waistband. A magazine containing 10 rounds of 9mm Luger ammunition was located in the suspect's right pocket. The firearm was determined to be unloaded as it did not have a magazine inserted or a round in the chamber. Sergeant Wilson arrived on scene and took possession of the firearm. It should be noted that the suspect was in close proximity, less than half a mile to the scene of where the incident occurred, approximately 15 minutes after the 911 call. Officers Healy and Walton arrived on scene in conjunction with witness statements as well as video footage. The individual detained by officers Grayhan and DeCicco was possibly identified as the suspect. Officer Walton demanded the suspect's license to carry. The suspect stated that he had his license to carry in his wallet, which had been removed from his person during the frisk. Due to the suspect being in handcuffs, officers assisted the suspect in locating his license to carry. A CJIS inquiry of the suspect revealed him to have an active license to carry issued by the Raleigh Police Department. Officer Walton read the suspect his Miranda rights from a card that he carries on his person. The suspect reported that he was attacked and assaulted and that he was defending himself when he drew his firearm. The suspect stated that his firearm was unloaded during the incident. Officer Sullivan returned to 1960 Beacon Street to speak with the victim, Chacon. The victim reported to Officer Sullivan a similar account of events as provided by the witness, Fontaine. The victim stated that during the incident, the suspect slammed the entry/exit door, striking the victim. The victim reported that the suspect then removed a firearm from his waistband and pointed it at him. The victim stated that the suspect then walked away from the bar. The victim stated that he was not injured during the incident. Based off the suspect striking the victim as well as the suspect pointing a firearm at the victim, it was determined that the suspect would be placed under arrest. Assertions into arrest of the suspect did not yield any further results. The suspect was transported to National Street Jail by the Kilo 202 Alpha, where he's booked in the usual manner. Suspect's license to carry was seized by Officer Walton. While interacting with the suspect, officers could detect a strong odor of alcohol emanating from the suspect's facial region. Officers observed the suspect's eyes to be glossy and bloodshot. The suspect was unsteady on his feet and swayed from side to side while standing still. The suspect's speech was slurred, and he had to be reminded multiple times by officers of basic information such as where he was transported to or what his bail was. During the booking process, the suspect utilized the booking desk/window for balance. Based off the above factors, Officers Healy and Walton formed the opinion that the suspect was intoxicated by alcohol. The rest of the report is just like property and the charges.
Thank you, Officer Healy. That is sufficient. Mr. Delury, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Certainly. Just to clarify, I'm not a firsthand witness. I have preserved video footage of the incident. I have a witness statement from Kyle Fontaine, the general manager, and a witness statement from Christian Chacon, the door staff member that was assaulted. I've also pulled the suspect's bill. But outside of that, I don't have anything to add to it.
Thank you. If you could please provide all of those to the board. We've not received anything at this time. Those can all be submitted to licensingboard@boston.gov.
Okay.
Is there any additional testimony you will be providing this morning aside from the submissions we'll be waiting for?
No.
Board may have some questions for you while you were here, so stand by. Chairman Joyce, do you have any questions?
No, thank you. I have no questions. Commissioner Curran?
No questions, thank you.
None now. Thank you.
Thank you. Please do submit the video witness statements and the suspect's bill. Make sure that those are forwarded to the board as soon as we receive them.
I'll do that right away.
Thank you. With that, the board will take this under advisement for now. Thank you. Calling item number 4, Little Haiti International Cuisine LLC. Doing business as Little Haiti International Cuisine located at 1184 Hyde Park Ave in Hyde Park. Date of the incident, September 20th, 2025, over capacity in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.03J and 1.06A and F. Patrons fighting outside of establishment in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 265, Section 13A. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
I am George Graham.
Good morning. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Detective Gallagher can read this into the record if
Thank you, Sergeant Gallagher. I'm just going to ask you to start your video so that we can swear you in. I'll ask, are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning? Can you both please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Sergeant Gallagher. If you could please proceed for the board.
Yes, I'll be reading a police report authored by Officer Coleman at about 2 a.m. on Saturday, September 20th, 2025. Officer Coleman was assigned to the Lima 421 on site of the disturbance at 1184 Hyde Park Ave, Little Haiti International Cuisine, Hyde Park. Also on scene was the Lima 906, Sergeant Monahan, the Lima 422, Officer Dugsbaugh, Officer Lima 101, DaCosta and Phillips, the Lima 411 Jackson, the Lima 412 McGuire. Upon exiting the 7-Eleven at 1187 Hyde Park Ave, Officer Coleman observed a crowd of people who appeared to be coming from Little Haiti International Cuisine in the middle of the street, causing a loud disturbance from what looked like a verbal altercation. The verbal altercation was between a group of females that was escalating into a fight. There were about 30 people that were gathered outside the establishment before assisting units arrived to disperse the crowd. As officers made their way to the premises to speak with the owner about the disturbance taking place outside, a large group of people, along with employees, were also gathered inside, about 15 to 20 people. This group was informed to leave as it was past closing hours. Officers requested for the supervisor to respond to the above-mentioned address. Sergeant Monahan, the Lima 906, responded on scene and issued the owner, George Cron, a license premise violation number 071261. It should be noted that the business license lists the capacity for 48 patrons occupying at one time. They must stop service of alcohol by 1 a.m. Everyone should be cleared out of property by 1:30. That's all that's there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cran. Would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yeah. So it was the ending of our event, but there was two events going on the same street. So they're let out and our let out. The crowds were outside probably 30 minutes after we closed up, hanging out there. And I guess a fight happened between some females, but it wasn't within the parameters of our building. It was a little bit down the block a little bit. So I was under the impression that once it's away from my parameters, not our responsibility, especially if there's another party letting out. So the patrons that were fighting, who's to say they came from our party or the other party down the street? But that was the altercation that happened inside. The 15 people, that was my security staff, my cooking staff, my mother, my father, and the bartenders. And that was about it. But situation occurred, and nothing was, I guess, in our control. It was outside. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. We'll see if there are any questions. Chairwoman Joyce?
Yes. Do we have any clarification on like how many people were inside? I know you're testifying it was like staff and your family. What were they? Were they just cleaning up, or were you guys
We
having?
were cleaning up.
And your parents work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just gonna reinforce again, I know you've been before us before for having people there after hours. You do need to be out of there by 1:30.
Yeah, but my staff is good to help clean up if it's all staff members.
Okay, how many people were in there?
About 15.
15 staff people.
I got 4 security guards, 4 bartenders, my
Okay.
mom and dad, and we have 2 cleaners.
Okay. All right. I might have more questions. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
So you had was this 12 staff? Were they on the whole evening? Because your capacity is only 48 people, so
Yeah.
you're only letting in like 34 patrons.
When the police came?
No, during your evening. If you have a staff of over 12 and 15 people, that means your patron load is in the 30s, right?
I wasn't aware that we count staff as the
Yeah.
patrons. Okay. See, I mean,
The amount of staff you're telling us you have doesn't fit your capacity. Like how many people are you letting in during the evening when your staff is present?
I don't keep exact count, but some days it's 40.
Yeah,
some
you
days
should,
it's
you should always be keeping exact count. That's
I'm
another.
saying I don't know which days exactly which number, but some days it's 40 people, some days it's 30. Depends on.
Yeah, you can't let in 40 patrons with 12 staff. That's over capacity. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So like we just like as the chair said, this was basically just a little more than a month after we had a hearing and sent correspondence. So I think we went over some of these issues at the last hearing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so what was documented, the amount of staff that they said was coming from the restaurant? I think they said 30.
When on this report?
Yeah.
They estimated 15 to 20. You told us there was 15 people in there, right?
About 15, yes, but I'm saying.
Okay. So my concern is, you tell me you have 15 staff. I suspected that it didn't meet your total capacity because, as you just said, you didn't realize that staff counted to your total capacity, right?
Yes.
Okay, but they do.
Okay.
So you need to allow patrons in, including your staff count. And so maybe your staff, the amount of staff that you have would match better with your capacity.
Fair enough.
Okay.
No questions, just to put a fine point on capacity. Capacity is about safety. And so the number of bodies that you have in your establishment, regardless of their role in the establishment, is what is why we have capacity limits. So it's about safety.
Yeah. I have a question. Were we in violation of capacity that day? I wasn't even sure if it was that packed of a night. Like, did the cops give like a count? I think they, on the report, they said about 30 patrons were leaving, which I think meets.
It says 15 to 20? Wait a minute.
No, that's after the incident. I'm talking about the people she said that were coming out. They said approximately about 30 people.
You weren't written up for overcapacity this evening.
Oh, okay.
Just the way, but when you're telling us that you had 15 people as staff, that number doesn't match up with your 48 person capacity. Not many places that have a 48 person capacity will have 15 people on staff that night because they don't want to give up the spots for
individuals that will pay. I get it.
Yes. So, a place that small, I would think 2 security, 2 bartender, not 4 and 4.
We have 4
security. Yeah, you told us 4 security, 4 bar people, right?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot, and it raised the suspicion in me, which was confirmed, that you weren't counting your staff on your occupancy, which you need to do.
Agree.
Okay.
Any further questions on the board on this matter?
I just want to make sure it does say that there was a notice for overcapacity.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that is correct. The actual written notice from the officer does state officer estimated over 48 persons. However, without the officer here, that's difficult to question on. Sergeant Gallagher, I don't know if there's anything you can speak to on that.
No, it just says, as Mr. Quinn stated, 30 people in the street for disturbance, and then 15 to 20 inside. So that's all the report states.
That's estimated, I think, like 50 to 48.
45.
45, yeah.
Are there any further questions from the board?
Nope.
That the board will take this under advisement as well then. Thank you. Calling item number 5, Razorbacks Lessee LLC, doing business as the W Boston, located at 100 Stewart Street. Dated the incident October 3rd, 2025. Failure to cooperate with police, not allowing register inspection. In violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.10 A and B. Who is present on behalf of the licensee? We have anybody with us on behalf of the W Boston? We will contact the licensee and take a second call. Moving on, calling item number 6, 61 Brookline Restaurant LLC, doing business as Loco Taqueria and Oyster Bar, located at 61 Brookline Ave, dated the incident October 12th, 2025. Assault and battery, patron on patron, in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 265, Section 13A. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Green, Kristen Scanlon for the licensee. On with us this morning as well is Patrick Bothwell, who is the GM for the licensee, Danny Beckenhughes, who is security working that night, and we should have Matt DeSimone, who is the bartender that evening as well. Just turned his camera on.
Yes, I do see all of them. Thank you. Who is present on behalf of the licensee? Of the Boston Police Department.
Good morning, Detective Jared Taylor.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning? Can you all please raise your right hand?
Officer McKinney, sir, I'm also.
Oh, great. Thank you, officer. If you could all please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Who will be reading the report into the record?
Sir, Officer McKinney, I wrote the original report.
Thank you. You may please proceed for the board.
About 12:24 a.m. on Sunday, October 12th, 2025, Officer McKinney's in the Kilo 498 Alpha took a walk-in report at the District 14 front desk for an assault and battery that occurred at 61 Brookline Ave, Loco Taqueria and Oyster Bar. The victim, Aaron Tritz, explained to Officer McKinney's that between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. on Saturday, October 11th, 2025, she was at the above address. She further explained that she went to the bar with her friend, Vivian Martinez. The victim stated that she had drinks in her hands and attempted to sit at the bar. The victim stated she asked the unknown suspect if the chair was free. She stated that the unknown suspect nodded, then stated yes. The victim informed the officer that as she attempted to sit down, the unknown suspect had pulled the seat from under her. The victim explained as a result of the fall, the glasses from the drinks had broken and the victim had glass and alcohol on her. She stated that the suspect then left her. The suspect stated, the victim stated she confronted the suspect and stated, "Are you effing kidding me?" She then looked at the suspect's friends and stated, "If this was your mom or your sisters, you would be pissed. Are you kidding me?" The victim stated that after the bar did not remove the suspect, she poured some of her drink on his back. The victim stated that the suspect smacked both her drinks away and began to yell and curse. The victim stated that the suspect then put her an arm's length away from him, poured his drink on her head, and struck her with an open hand. The victim stated she then left 61 Brookline Ave to file a report at District 14. It should be noted that the victim did not have any visible injuries and could not describe where the suspect had struck her. The suspect can be described as a white male in his 20s with blonde hair and a white long-sleeve shirt. The victim declined emergency medical services. That's the end of this report, sir.
Thank you very much. Attorney Scanlon, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, please. Thank you. Officer McKinney, just a few questions for you. This was a walk-in report, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And it occurred at approximately 12:24 a.m.?
When she walked in, ma'am.
The alleged victim stated to you that she had been at the licensed premises between the hours of 10:30 and 11:30 p.m.?
Correct, ma'am.
Meaning that she would have left there, she left there around 11:30? Was that your understanding?
I know, yes, ma'am. She left around 11:30 from my understanding.
You have no knowledge of her whereabouts between 11:30 and when she walked in at 12:24 a.m., correct?
No, ma'am.
As part of your report, you indicated that the alleged victim did not have any visible injuries, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And you also indicated that she could not describe where the alleged suspect had allegedly struck her?
Correct, ma'am.
As part of your investigation into the incident, you never spoke with any witnesses corroborating the alleged victim's reporting, correct?
Correct.
And at the time of her reporting, the suspect was unknown?
Correct.
And the suspect is still unknown, correct?
To my knowledge, yes. Yes, ma'am.
To your knowledge, no charges were filed regarding this incident, correct?
To my knowledge, yes, ma'am.
As part of your investigation, you contacted the licensed premises, yes?
No, ma'am.
You didn't, or maybe that was Detective Taylor, so maybe I could switch to Detective Taylor. Detective, as part of your investigation and follow up to this incident, you contacted the licensed premises, correct?
Yeah, good morning. I went to the establishment to issue the violation.
And you had follow-up conversations with Mr. Bothwell, correct? Or communications?
Yes.
And Mr. Bothwell supplied video to you as part of your investigation?
Yes.
And at all times throughout your investigation, were staff cooperative with you regarding this matter?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Detective. Madam Chair, members of the board, if I may, as I indicated in the introductions, we have 3 staff members with personal knowledge of the alleged incident, as well as our general manager, Patrick Bothwell, who discussed this incident with police afterwards, but was also there that evening. I'd like to start just with a few questions for Mr. DeSimone, if I may. Mr. DeSimone, can you please state your name for the record?
Matthew DeSimone.
And how long have you been employed for the licensed premises?
3 years.
How long have you worked in the hospitality industry?
10 years.
What was your role and position on the evening in question within the licensed premises?
I was serving the guests at the bar that night.
And do you recall 2 patrons that are the subject of this alleged incident, as you just heard in the Boston Police Report?
I just recalled 2 boy and a girl yelling at each other a little bit, and I just asked them to stop, and they both just walked away pretty calmly.
To your knowledge, if you know, did they know each other?
It looked like they could have potentially known each other.
And when you asked them to stop their fighting, did they comply?
Right away. Kid just turned around, and then the girl just walked away.
At any time, did you observe a male pull a chair away from a female?
I did not.
At any point in time, did you observe a female falling to the ground?
I did not.
At any time, did you observe a female pour a drink on a male's back?
I did not.
At any time, did you observe a male knock drinks from a female's hand?
No, I did not.
At any time, did you observe a male pour a drink on a female's head?
No, I did not.
And at any time, did you observe a male strike a female?
No, I did not.
Thank you very much. If I'm no further questions from Mr. DeSimone at this time, if I may turn to Mr. Bothwell, could you please state your name for the record?
Patrick Bothwell.
And what is your position for the licensed premises?
I'm the general manager.
How long have you been employed there?
I'm at Loco Fenway for 3 years now.
How long have you been in the hospitality industry?
11 years.
Were you working on the night in question?
Yes, I was.
When was this alleged incident first brought to your attention, and by whom?
That night by Danny, the security guard, let me know, but then I didn't realize that it was this, excuse me. I didn't realize that it was as big of an incident as she claimed till the next morning when we got the violation.
And you got the violation from Detective Taylor?
Yes, who gave it to another manager who then gave it to me.
Did you conduct an internal investigation following receipt of the licensed premises violation?
Yes, I did.
And as part of your internal investigation, did you review any surveillance video of that evening?
Yes, yes, I did.
During what times?
From 10:30 to 11:30 p.m.
And why did you review during that time?
Because that was the time that Detective Taylor told me the incident had occurred.
During your review of surveillance video, at any time did you observe a male pull a chair away from a female?
I did not.
And at any time did you observe a female falling to the ground?
I did not.
At any time did you observe a verbal altercation between a male and a female?
I did not.
At any time did you observe a female pour a drink on a male's back?
I did not.
Or knock a drink from a female's hand?
I did not.
At any time did you observe a male strike a female?
I did not.
At any time did you observe any commotion between two patrons whatsoever?
I did not.
And did you speak with police regarding this matter?
I did. I spoke with Detective Taylor.
Did you provide him video of this alleged incident?
I did, to try and help him narrow down to who the suspect was.
As part of the, sorry to cut you off. You can continue.
Okay. But that's all I did, was just send him video of the spot on the bar where the alleged suspect was.
As part of your investigation, did you speak with anybody else in this matter?
I spoke with the victim.
And when did that conversation occur?
It was a few days after the incident happened, just because I had Detective Taylor give her my contact information, because I wanted to, get to the bottom of it, make sure we helped her as best as we could to figure out who this was that supposedly did this to her. And she replied that she didn't want to come in and look at the videos because she didn't want to interrupt an open investigation.
And did you ever have any follow-up communication with her regarding this matter?
I did not.
Okay, thank you very much. I do also, Madam Chair, members of the board as well, have Danny Beckenhughes here, who is a security guard who responded to a complaint by the female, if I may, briefly with his testimony. Mr. Beckenhughes, please state your name for the record.
Daniel Beckenhughes.
And what's your position for the licensee?
Security.
How long have you worked for them?
Since September.
Were you working on the evening in question?
I was.
And how was the alleged incident first brought to your attention?
I was standing next to the ramp in local Fenway, and a barback came up to me and said a guy pulled a chair on a girl, and so I followed him, and then the female pointed out the gentleman who supposedly did that, and I went up to him, started talking to him, and he was adamantly against that. He had 20 other females, or not 20, but around 5 other females with him, and they said he did not do that.
To your knowledge, did the barback witness the alleged pulling of the chair, or was he told that by the female?
He was told that by the female.
Okay. Where was the female when you approached the male?
Towards the bathroom, so like away from him, probably around 30, 40 feet.
And did she remain on the premises following the alleged incident?
After she pointed out the gentleman, she went somewhere else. I don't know where she went.
Okay, thank you very much, Denny. No further questions at this time. Madam Chair, members of the board, I think the testimony from the 3 employees, including the police report, mostly speak for themselves. As you heard, it appears to staff that they may have known each other. Not sure whether or not that's true, because at this point in time, the alleged suspect in this incident, to our knowledge, is still unknown. But it appears at most, from any personal knowledge or any evidence available, that at most this was a brief verbal altercation, and when staff instructed them to stop, they did, and they separated, and it sounds like it was the end of the event. There's certainly no evidence of assault and battery in this instance, as you heard as well from the police report. There was no certainly no visible evidence of any alleged injury, as well as no testimony or surveillance footage of any alleged assault and battery in this instance as well. Again, most that we have is a minor verbal altercation, and when it was reported to staff, they responded accordingly to attempt to get to the bottom of it, and the female left the premises. With that being said, we're certainly happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Thank you. We'll see if there are any questions following that explanation. Chairwoman Joyce, any questions?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Curran, Commissioner Saxon.
No questions. Thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will see. The board will take this under advisement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
see,
you.
take a second call to see if anyone has joined us on behalf of the W Hotel. It does not appear that anybody has. Chairman Joyce, would you like this read into the record, or would you like to work with the licensee to reschedule this matter?
I think we should work with them. I understand we've reached out to their attorney. There might have been a conflict or a misunderstanding about the Sergeant Gallagher.
Yeah, we've had problems with service here. This has been, I think this is the third time this has been on. And on the first and third time, we went down there at night. We work nights, and they would not sign for the notice. Second time they did. So I don't know if they got notice on this as well, because like I said, the same gentleman twice refused to sign for this. The manager said, I'm not signing. We left and we documented that, hey, you know what? They're not signing for it. So just that they might not know about it, because like I said, with the same guy down there last 1 out of 2 times has just refused to take it.
Thank you. Yeah, the last time they were before us on a similar matter for not signing, they did send us a new policies regarding signing for documents. So that has come up before.
That's what I was wondering, Danny. Was this incident before our last vote where they submitted and the general manager came on the hearing and said he's changed his internal policy, that previously their policy was that any legal document had to go to corporate?
This incident happened before the prior vote, correct? The underlying incident here is different, but yes.
Okay. At the last hearing, Detective, I don't know if you remember, the general manager appeared and said, I believe it was the general manager, and said they changed their policy because staff had been trained to send everything to corporate, and they misinterpreted this as a subpoena.
Yeah, sometimes you run into that, not a lot. We tell them, this is just that it's being delivered. On the second occasion, we're down there, the security manager presented himself. He was aware of the incident. He signed it. But the general manager or the night manager, Monday, on the first and third occasion, it was the same gentleman, and he just won nothing. Yeah. So that might be the case. I'm not sure if I was at that hearing, but that might be the reason for the whole thing. But
okay.
We don't run into that a lot, but we did this time.
So again, Chairman Joyce would like this rescheduled.
Yeah, I want to reinforce the fact that they have to cooperate with the police.
Yeah.
And that I want to make sure they've trained all of their staff, especially this particular staff person.
We will ensure that this is rescheduled and that notice is delivered and sent by certified mail as well to make sure that they receive it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the items before the board this morning that will adjourn this hearing. The board is scheduled to vote Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Notice has been posted to the city's website. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.